Welcome, everybody, to the 7th DeadCast episode. This is the premiere of the regular The Walking Dead. To my left is Brandon Lang.
What's up, everyone?
And then this handsome, beautiful man next to me is Mark Hicks. And I'm Oliver Trotta.
Another handsome, beautiful man.
I guess I'm not handsome or beautiful.
And Brandon.
You are.
Brandon's beautiful too.
Okay, so let's get into it. Today was the premiere of season 5?
6.
No, 5?
6.
Ooh,
6, man. 6.
Okay. Shit. 6, season 6 of The Walking Dead. Called
First Time Again.
The First Time Again. And it felt good for the show to be back. Especially coming from Fear the Walking Dead. Not to not Fear the Walking Dead, but it felt like home coming back.
It did, yeah. It felt like we were like at the step-parents' house the past couple weeks, and we finally got to be back home with our original parents.
Exactly.
And it felt so good to, feel their embrace and their love.
And then before we talk about this episode, I wanted to kind of go into... So this week they had the whole series replay all week. In case no one ever watched the show, you could watch it from Sunday night. And if you just binge it all the way to today. So I kind of was able to rewatch some episodes, and it kind of reminded me why I liked The Walking Dead so much. And because, at once Fear the Walking Dead was over, I was kind of trying to think, I just felt like it was missing something. And I think that what the main show does really well is just it does really cool imagery. And then the setting around the characters. So it tells the story of the characters, but the setting around them also tells a story. And it's a cool story. So like in the first episode, like the imagery that Rick sees, with like this, the don't dead and open inside.
Yeah.
With the cool zombies trying to come through, and like his first zombie he sees is like a dead girl, which, like this show is gonna fuck you up in the head. And then like later on, they have just these great characters that you don't even think would be cool together, like Beth and Daryl, that whole time when she was trying to find a drink. That was just such a great, well-written episode. And
yeah,
you kind of see like when they're looking around, even though they're not really talking about where they're at, you just see by the images they have that like when they went to like this clubhouse, it's filled with like rich people because all the zombies are dressed nicely. They're wearing like the little ascots and they have like their sweaters tied around the top, like rich people do. And then they even have like, and like something fucked up happened because there's like people that hung themselves and they turn into zombies because once you die, you turn.
Yeah.
And then they had like half of a woman chopped up and she was on a mannequin that said "rich bitch."
Oh,
and
yeah.
And so it tells a story like just how fucked up it got in there. And I just think it's really cool. And I think that was kind of what was missing in the main show. I don't know if you guys just wanted to say that.
Let me ask you this, because the Fear of the Walking Dead, like, I think the imagery obviously is awesome in The Walking Dead, but it is well after the apocalypse, where the Fear of the Walking Dead is still the beginning, so there's not a whole lot of time yet still as far as, like, where they are to where they ended, to where people can, hoard it and there's crazy shit like that going on. Humanity's still kind of intact, although towards the end of the season, spoiler alert,
Well,
pretty much is falling apart. Like we're almost getting to the level of The Walking Dead as far as every man for himself. But my only thing to that is there hasn't been a whole lot that's happened in the world to have that awesome imagery, which I think that there was some kind of element missing like that in the Fear of the Walking Dead. I 100% agree with you, because even when it was over, like we all talked about it in our last DeadCast, if you guys want to watch that, but we talked about how we're not like super stoked for season 2. It didn't set anything up to where it's like I can't wait to watch this show and pick it up again. And the way season 5 ended with The Walking Dead, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait for this season to start.
Yeah.
And this episode, we can get into it. This episode was awesome. Unless you have anything to add to that. I don't know if you
do you have any more thoughts on Fear? I'd rather give it a week to think about the whole thing.
I just think it's new. This
Yeah.
Fear the Walking Dead. There's not a lot they can do.
I mean, me and you, we both watched the entire first season of The Walking Dead again, and I still found it ultimately a better season at its core. Like, we even forgot about a whole bunch of people that died in the first season that it didn't even matter, at this point now. But I just still think it just was just the story itself was just better than the way it was in Fear the Walking Dead. But
I just think they're different.
they are different.
Absolutely.
And that's good that they are. We don't want the same thing.
Yeah, no, it'd be terrible if they tried to... I mean, especially if Fear tried to be like the actual Walking Dead, it'd be awful. So, but, I mean, we should get into this episode. This episode...
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, this episode was really good. It like I was telling him before we even filmed this, not a whole lot happened, but it was cool because the way they filmed it, they had these flashbacks, which were all filmed in black and white to kind of give you this idea, which it's pretty artsy. Like,
I would say it's mainly the flashback. So the color part was flash forward, if that makes any sense.
What was the present, and then
essentially
flashbacks.
the present of
Because
the episode.
To be clear, so the episode starts out, you see like a sea of zombies, and then like the only thing stopping the zombies from coming in were like these two trucks backed into each other.
Yeah, two semis.
And they were like talking about, all right. Then they show like this truck in the back falling down off a cliff, and like, oh shit, all right, we need to do this now. And they're like, and this guy's like, no, we're not ready. Who, what was his name? We forgot it again. Carter, who was a giant pussy. He's like, no, we're not ready for this. And then so then like, nope, we're doing it now. Let's do it. And so then they open it up, and then this sea of zombies just start walking through. And then you don't know why they're doing that. Why would you want to mess with that many zombies? And then it goes back into the flashback immediately right after
Rick, pop the cap, and what's his name? I can't even remember the guy's name.
Reggie?
Red.
No, Reg was the husband that died.
Pete.
Pete was the abusive husband.
Boom.
Yeah. Pete got shot in the face because he killed Reg. But yeah, they show Diane just sitting there. Deanna, whatever. Deanna is sitting there in the pool of blood of her husband. She's all depressed, and you would be in a dark place. Yeah.
She pretty much handed the torch fully over
to Rick. She was like, we need to trust him. But yeah, you can... Bless you.
Excuse me, twice. But anyway, go on.
Yeah, so they show you the aftermath of that whole thing where they start burying Reg, and it shows Abraham, pouring him some liquor.
Making 40 for you.
Yeah.
40 for you, my brother.
And then I'm trying to think what else happened right directly after that.
Well, I mean, so they show them burying like the bodies. Like Rick comes across, and he approaches like I'm trying to think. I think it was Carter and another one of the guys.
The other guy, the friend of Pete.
Yeah, one of the friends of Pete, which doesn't name.
Who's not really like a main person.
Yeah, his name doesn't matter anyway. But
he's probably zombie bait.
Yeah, like at this point, like essentially what happened is, he's like, Rick's like, why are you burying a criminal, like a killer?
He's a killer.
Yeah, a killer inside of these walls. And Pete, what's his name? Carter gets all defensive, like he was one of us. He's a person, and Rick's pretty much like, this isn't gonna fly. And then Deanna comes over and confirms it.
Well, he's like, what are you gonna do about it? It's not up to you.
Yeah, he's like, not your choice. Yeah. And then Deanna comes on and she's like, no, Rick's right.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Deanna had like Rick's back and everything in this episode. Anyway, that ends up taking them out. And this is all in the past, like before the present happens, obviously. So this is all in black and white, and it ends up showing them taking the body out. And then Morgan, this is a good episode for Morgan too, where Morgan actually had quite a few moments where you get to, like him and trust him more. But anyway, they end up taking the killer's body out to just go bury it outside somewhere. And, of course, his son decides to tag along secretively, sneak it outside of the walls, and follows Rick and Morgan out. And what happens from there? They end up burying it, but there's...
before they buried it, they see... That's when they find and hear all the walkers in the mine. Right?
Yeah, so... First, you guys also forgot to mention that they show the family a little bit, Pete's family, which had the abused wife, which is that wife, if you guys don't remember, is the hot maid from American Horror Story season 1. She looks way better as a redhead, but whatever. And they show her kids, and then like there's the older kid. He just looks pissed off. I mean, which it's understandable. I've never had, thankfully, an abusive father. So, but I just feel like I would have that. Like I would hate him, but he seems very upset that his father is dead. And so he wanted.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I just feel like it'd be like, yes, he's not hurting my mom anymore.
Beating your mom.
Yeah, like, F that guy. But, whatever. Yeah, I guess he was upset that he died. And so when they're taking the dude's body out, that kid like sneaks out and follows them. And then, so then they go out and to go bury him, and then they argue over whether or not they should even bury him to begin with. And
Rick and Morgan.
Yeah, and then Morgan's like, no, I know the kind of person that you are. Like, you would do this. And he's like, no, you don't know me. And then
not
like
in that way, but that's what he said.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
He said, "Get to know me, the new me."
The new me. Yeah.
That
was kind of a theme between Morgan and Rick, where like
it's like restarting, hitting the refresh button on their entire relationship. This episode.
Yeah, because Rick just was trying to tell him, I'm a different person now. I'm not that person anymore. Yeah. And Morgan's like, no, you are that person. You're the person that saved me. When I was in that town. He mentioned it, but I forget the name of that town. And he's like, and you're that person now. But yeah, then that gets interrupted because they hear the ocean of walkers, and then they're like, holy shit! And then this dumbass kid like attracts some walkers, and he can't kill them, so he runs.
Of course, he trips too.
Yeah, he's about to like run off a cliff, and then Rick saves his life, and then of course he's gonna.
Rick just dives. This episode had some awesome
he
special
tackles
effects.
him.
Yeah, it dives, and all of a sudden it shows like this panned out camera view of like this cliff edge, and these walkers are just like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy. Morgan's got binoculars, and he's just looking at this sea of walkers, like just tons, like probably close to, I would probably say at least 80,000 people.
And it's essentially a pit, so like the noise of the walkers is attracting other walkers, and when they go over there, being as stupid as they are, they just fall in, making more and more, and eventually that's gonna, overflow. And yeah, on both ends of the way out, there's just these trucks blocking them, and they're like slowly, one by one, walking out. So yeah, they get, scared by that, and then, that stupid kid gets all mad at Rick.
Yeah, because Rick pretty much tells him, he's like, I'm gonna teach you, I can teach you how to survive, but you're pretty much a weakling. You don't have any skills. You're going to get yourself killed by coming out here.
Which is true.
Yeah, he gives him pretty much, he's honest with them, but at the same time, he pretty much tells him how it is. You're an idiot. You shouldn't be out here. And then the kid, like, he's like, I'm going to go back, and like tries to walk away from Rick. And Rick's like, no, you're not going back without us. You're going back with us. So he takes on that whole responsibility of that kid, and the kid's kind of a punk. And I can understand why you'd be hurt, obviously having your dad die, even if he was a dick. Maybe he wasn't a dick to his son. Maybe he was a good dad to his son. So maybe, obviously, he's got to have some kind of tie with him to why he's even out there in the first place. But that pretty much set up the premise of this entire show. Rick ends up going back to town, telling everybody, holy shit, there's a sea of walkers out there.
Yeah.
We need to make a goddamn plan to get these guys out before these trucks give way, because they're on like this incline. And like right at the beginning, there's 3 semis. There's one blocking off like the backside, which ends up crumbling. Like it's on this incline, and the rocks crumble, and the truck falls. And
I've seen those things before. Like you go down the ramp all the way to the bottom.
It's like a salt mine.
Yeah. I've seen them before.
I've seen them. Yeah, you can drive past them on the highway, like up north.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
but they are very deep. So
yeah,
and essentially those semis are the only thing keeping them in, and they're right. I mean, it really is only a matter of time. If it rains a couple more days, and the rocks give way, and the semis will come loose, and then you have over 100,000 walkers coming into this town. And even as good as the walls are in that community, there's no way it would be able to hold up with that much pressure pushing against it. So they designed some plan, essentially, kind of like just a mousetrap to funnel these walkers through. Which it did it really explain where they were going? I didn't understand.
They
where
were
they
like
planned to put them. Like, were they going to block them off somewhere?
They were just funneling them west, which is completely the opposite direction of
just to
the
get
town.
rid of them.
Just to get rid of them. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, as far as I was thinking, they had like some awesome plan. Like, we're gonna put them in the meat grinder.
That would have been tight.
I was like, man, I just want to see like all these die like in a just a mosh pit of people dying. But obviously they don't have the resources to probably
I don't think they
muster up a plan of that.
Their intention was just to get rid of them, not really permanently get rid of them, but get them away from them.
Just to get the horde to where there's not so many piling up to where they can handle, a couple zombies at a time.
Right.
But yeah, it was intense because, there's even a couple scenes that shows a flashback of like Glenn and Glenn coming back, which we're kind of cutting all over the place, but it's okay because this episode kind of did that with going back and forward. But Glenn and I don't even remember that guy's name that was a dick to him. Do you know?
I don't remember his name.
Anyway,
Adrian? No.
In the last episode,
the last episode of the season 5, he tried to kill Glenn, and I remember when I first watched it, I was just like, kill him, because I love Glenn, and anyone that would endanger Glenn deserves to die. And Glenn holding a gun on his head, and he's thinking about it, but he ends up not doing it, and he ends up carrying him back to the town, no less. And then you find out, they show him bringing him back to the doctor's office where Tara is.
Yep.
And he covers for him. He doesn't say
a peep about anything.
So later on, it ricocheted and hit me. I'm fine.
Later on, you find out that he tells Maggie, which that's his wife. So of course he's going to tell her, and she's just as pissed as the audience is that he didn't do anything about it. But she gives it to Tara and makes it up to her because Noah died because of him. Noah
died, and she also got almost blown up because of him.
Yeah. And, they almost got left behind, too, because I think he was trying to jack the van from them when what's his name? Eugene was trying to put Tara in there, so fuck that guy. But maybe, he might be a powerful ally now. He's someone that obviously respects, well, not obviously, he might respect Glenn a lot for doing that.
Yeah.
And he might be very loyal to him now for saving his life. Yeah,
because when Rick's pretty much compiling this plan and telling everybody in the town about it, there's obviously Carter who objects, because Carter's kind of the only person that's really totally against Rick. He's the one that pointed guns at all of us.
He's like a new Pete.
Yeah, pretty much. And anyways, fate's great what happens to him in this episode. But, he's the only one that objects. And there's even a scene where he's talking to other people, and Eugene is overhearing. I don't even know what he was doing, getting food.
Getting food. He's fat.
Yeah. And Eugene just can hear him talking about, it's either us or him. We need to kill Rick. Pretty much saying that. And then he drops Jam, being Eugene, the silly guy that he is. And
that'd probably be me in the apocalypse.
And it's funny because Carter turns to the corner and it's he's he heard us, and Eugene's just no, I didn't hear it. Yeah, it's funny, but he's pointing a gun at him, and then of course Rick and Michonne and I'm trying to think who else was.
Daryl was there.
Yeah. They all walk in. They all walk in his door, and they got a gun pointed at Eugene, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" But pretty much that plan gets leaked. He knows. Okay, well you're telling these people to go against me, and then Rick just snatches the fucking gun out of his hand, makes Carter look like a total pussy, takes it from him. He's pointing the gun at the back of his head after he throws him down.
I like what he said when he was holding the gun to him. He's "You're trying to take this town from Michonne, from Carol, from Daryl, from me."
Yeah.
I was like, "Whew, fuck." Yeah.
Yeah, it was great though. I mean, that was a great scene where it's just you better get with the program, or you're not going to last here. And then what ends up from there? Everyone ends up agreeing to go with the plan. And the one thing that was weird is Glenn agrees to go in after he's talking and consulting with Maggie, kind of privately within that group, and then the guy that tried to kill Glenn decides, "I'm in too." And I
think he wants to redeem himself.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
he realizes Glenn's he knows his shit, just like Rick does and everyone else does, and so he trusts him. He's not. I don't know if he's suddenly he's not a big pussy where he's gonna like fuck people over just to survive.
Yeah.
But he hopefully he turns around and he becomes he learns from Glenn.
He could be a cool character. No,
He could be, yeah.
He could be a cool character, and especially in this episode, he kind of teams up with Glenn again. I'm trying to think. Do we know what that black guy's with Dread's name is? There's some new characters that are introduced in this episode.
Did he ever say his name?
I don't know if he did, but
let's call him DeAndre. He reminds me of.
I mean, we can say DeAndre for now.
For now, we'll call him DeAndre, but he's the guy with the dreads and the glasses, which I guess they were always part of the group, but like they went on a run.
Yeah,
and we just never showed up until now. Which is why, like, when they came, Eugene was guarding the gate, and he was like, "I don't even know who you are," and like, "I don't know who you are either. Who the are you?" And then Eugene was like, once he lets them in, he's like, "Hey, I'm glad there's another one like me. I respect the hair."
Yeah.
He's just so awkward. Yeah,
he's so funny though. He's a funny character to have.
Yeah,
and also Tara mentions the hair too. Remember later?
She mentions Eugene's hair. Yeah.
Eugene's hair.
What was it?
Thank God.
The hair is okay?
Hair is okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when she first sees him, because at the end of last season, she just wakes up, but I don't think anybody was there when she woke up. So everyone got to meet her again for the first time and like, oh, yes, you're back. Then another cool scene was they show Rick and Morgan talking about Carter after, he had the gun on him. And he was just saying, he was like, I actually was thinking about killing him. Like, I thought really hard about it because people like him, they don't deserve to live, or they aren't meant to live. Something like that, where he's like, I just know he's going to do something stupid or screw something up when I'm going to have to deal with it. And it's just easier to kill him then and now. And I don't have to worry about when he's going to mess things up. And, later on in the episode, he totally calls it and he fucks things up. Which was great because throughout the episode, he's just bitching along the way.
Yeah.
About Rick and not trusting him and this whole plan's crazy and blah, blah, blah. And then at the end, he just gets his cheek bitten out and just screaming.
Yeah, but
he did say like,
yeah, you're missing
you're
one
right.
part. Yeah.
This
is right after he makes his compromise with Rick. He's like, you're right. This was a good idea. And he shakes his hand. Like, like, and then he goes off like on his own because at the end they have all this horde walking on this open road and they're just trying to keep them on the road. Without anyone, any of them passing and leaving the horde. And then he goes off by himself and there's just some zombie like tied to a tree or something. He comes out and that's when he bites him in the fucking cheek, man.
Yeah.
And then he just starts screaming.
He didn't even do anything to stop it.
I know,
like,
he just
grabbed me and then
he was like,
started grabbing closer.
Yeah, then Rick comes, and Michonne and
I love how like Rick, instead of immediately just killing him because, he's infected, he got bit. He's just like, shh, he was quiet. Yeah. He tries to shut him up, but he doesn't. So then he just just stabs him. And then I don't know why, like Morgan and Michonne were. I mean, I guess they just felt bad that he happened to die, but I mean, that was his fault. It wasn't Rick's fault. He had to kill him.
Yeah,
Morgan finally realized too. He was like, I get it now.
Yeah, like I get it. Like this guy was gonna do exactly what Rick said, and he was right.
He was like, it had to be done, and Michonne was like, yeah, it did, or something.
So like, this is the way things are done.
Yeah, this is the way it's done, and
this is the way it's done.
Yeah, and I mean, they were right. He had to go based on. I mean, maybe he would have been fine now that he made a compromise, but at the same time, it's like there was even a scene in this when they're building the walls, like to set this plan up. And there's just a couple horde that come through and, Rick's talking. This is actually a pretty important conversation, I would say.
Yeah.
Kind of talking about everyone that's in the village because he's talking to, what's her name?
Deanna,
yeah.
About needing training.
Yeah. He's like, we got to train everybody.
And they need guns within, the community.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
She's like,
Yeah. And then, a horde comes out and they're like, they got this log.
He's like, let him do it.
Carter and one of these other guys, it doesn't even matter who his name is, but... anyway, Rick, they all stand back, like everyone's watching, and Rick's like, use your shovels, it'll be quiet, I want to track more. And they just don't even do anything, like, they just kind of like step back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, geez, man, like these people really are just
defenseless.
Yeah, like they've clearly never, like the apocalypse has happened around them, and they had the luck of the Irish that they had this fucking gold mine around where all these walkers fell into, to where they didn't really have to deal with any of them. Cause
how would you be so stupid as to not hit them? I don't get it. Like none of us are good with guns. Like all these people are knives. But if you have a shovel in your hand and something's coming at you, how are you not going to hit
them down?
It?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
And Morgan kills these things with a stick. Like a shovel, a shovel will do plenty to knock these things out. Like one hit, hit
and the cool thing about these zombies, they look awesome. Like they're super decayed now because it's been a few years now that the apocalypse has happened. And like, I think one of the ones that came out at them, like her chest was open and like she had hanging flesh.
I remember there was one that like split the trucks and like his
like
his face was just like flappy skin. I was like, jeez.
So they're delicate and they're not that hard to take down anymore. And they just didn't do anything. They're just frozen in fear. And then eventually they just Rick and them just went and took them out in like 2 seconds.
Oh yeah,
they're like, see what we mean, you know? Like y'all are useless.
Yeah, but I mean, essentially, that's a lot of what happens. The only couple parts we're missing is there was Glenn and that guy where they had to take out and clear out this one building because there's a bunch of zombies in it.
Store or whatever it was.
I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of building. Maybe it was a convenience store. Either way, there was a bunch of zombies trapped inside, and they had
loud.
Yeah, they had to take them out so they didn't throw the horde off and make them go elsewhere. So they ended up trying to pop one of these locks off to open the door, and they were just going to let them out one by one and take them out. And God, I wish I remember that guy's name. The curly-headed fuck.
DeAndre.
No, not DeAndre. He's talking about
the curly-headed fuck.
The asshole. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, him and DeAndre, the asshole and DeAndre. That's what I'll call him for now.
Yeah.
We're like, you serious, man? Why are we going to do that? Like, that's crazy. Like, don't do that. That's going to get us all killed.
Well, only DeAndre was like that. The asshole actually had Glenn's back, and he was like, listen, I've done runs with him. Glenn's like, does this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just trust him. Which, I gave props to that guy, because he could have fucked over Glenn again at that moment. And he didn't. And so, he told him to trust him, but then they found out that it was like covered by a metal, what do you call that?
A barrier.
The shutter.
The shutter, yeah. So then they end up just breaking a window and just laying them and dealing with them as they come out. They took care of business.
They did a good job. And it's funny because I was telling Oliver about this during the show. I'm like, man, as much as I hate that asshole guy right now, he could totally redeem himself and be like someone you actually like, because the actor's actually not that bad. He does a pretty good job of being a dick. Which, I don't know, I guess it's probably not as hard as it looks, considering what he had to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I think I could end up liking that guy if he stays around. I just there's so many characters right now. There's so many people that are just on the chop block. I feel like they're just getting killed. And I'm excited to see what happens next episode. This episode, essentially what happens is plan goes to good. Everything's going good. Horde's going down the right road, and everyone's
too good to be true.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, just this horn goes off in the background, and I think they said it was from their.
They said it sounded like it was coming from their community. Yeah.
So obviously, we know the Wolf Pack from Morgan. We know based on even like the whole season premiere, like that they're gonna play a part. Like, there's most definitely gonna be the antagonist, I think, of this season. So, I'm curious to see what happens. I don't know if anyone in the community did that. I think it's probably them. Because they're not.
No, what I think they probably did was like, because it sounded like it could have been a car horn.
Yeah.
Oh, it was way loud though.
You think so?
Super loud.
I mean, I think they just took the horn to their community and then just left it there. Like they could have just took it to the front door, just to attract all the zombies there.
Yeah.
And then once the zombies got finished with them, they would just pick them off.
If with all the trees in the forest, I don't think you would faintly hear a horn from that far away.
Yeah.
It's a siren of some kind.
It's a train, dude. It's like a train horn.
Yeah,
so
it sounds loud.
Like, it's freaking loud.
It was loud. Yeah.
Yeah, but the whole. I mean, that's how the episode ended.
And and it pulled back too, just to show you like how many thousands and thousands of zombies.
It's crazy.
Were going towards their little area, and then the next episode just shows them defending it. So it looks like they are going to get a full on zombie attack, and hopefully everybody wakes up. Well, I'm glad that they got rid of that annoying dude off the bat, which means because they were always this whole all the previews they were having before this season started, they're alluding that they were going to have like a little civil war where Rick was the bad guy and he was going too far. But now that guy is out of the way, like everyone pretty much has Rick's back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be much conflict with them.
And so it's just going to be them against the wolves,
they
which
do that
I
with
want.
movies and shows. Like they want to make you think that.
It's interesting though, because I think it's still going to be interesting to see like what happens like in the coming episodes. They have to deal with, like I said, there's like 80,000 zombies.
Yeah,
so,
this is going to affect the community in like a permanent way.
Yeah, I think they're going to get fucked over. Like I don't think the walls obviously will hold up, but it's also interesting to see because the Wolfpack, they're really good because they obviously live within the walkers. They had tons. They
know how they work.
Yeah, and they use them to their advantage. So it's going to be interesting. I really want to see like an episode in depth with them. Like I want to see their facilities. Like how do they live? If
you remember the way the dude was describing it in Morgan last season, they don't ever stay in one area. They're nomads. Migrate and they're leeches. They destroy these communities and they just take their supplies and then move on to the next community to destroy. So you see how well coordinated they are in that last community that was gated.
Yeah.
They like just ripped through that brick wall and they let a whole bunch of zombies go through and just.
Very well could be the wolf pack because
that was the wolf pack.
In the previews, you don't see any zombie attacks. You see like them hiding.
Oh, you mean the wolf pack attacking? No, I think those are zombies.
Yeah, I'm saying zombies are going to be there, but I think it's the wolf.
The wolves?
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess, next episode.
Because you wouldn't really be hiding in closets from zombies. You'd be hiding in your house. In a closet, though.
These are the Alexandrians. They don't know that well how to defend themselves still. I mean, they got like a few days worth of training. Doesn't make them experts.
No, they're gonna.
So they're gonna do stupid stuff. There's gonna be people that die, I'm sure.
Right off the bat. Yeah. Next episode, dude, there's gonna be deaths all over the place. I think, and it's gonna be interesting because they're gonna like thin out the cast pretty quickly to our core characters again.
Well, someone we haven't talked about yet is Carol.
Yeah, we did.
Who didn't show up for a long time in the episode,
and
she's still playing off her housewife.
Yeah, I'm stupid and
role. I love it.
Rick was just he saved me. And now he's been protecting me.
Rick's like talking about that. Yeah, I don't know if you want to touch that. You want to talk about what she said in the meeting? I thought it was hilarious. You remember where Rick's like telling how many zombies there are, and she's like, "That's terrifying."
Oh yeah, that's terrifying. And then I think Morgan knows that she's not.
Morgan caught on her because he was like, "You've been with Rick for long?" And she's like, "Yeah, since Atlanta." And he's like, "You a cop?" And she's like, "No, why would you say that?" And he's like,
It's the way you carry yourself, and you like. What does he say?
He's like, "I see you watching everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're ready to go." And she's just like, she doesn't really say much. She just goes like, "Interesting."
Yeah, she was like, "Interesting," and walks away.
Yeah, but it's great.
She's like giving people drinks who are all working. Like normally, she would be part of the people that are working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's playing a great role though. Like she's like,
it's funny, and she has fun.
Like,
yeah.
And she also talks to Rick too. She was like, "Yeah, and they're starting to train us at camp." And I was like, "Well, I know you're probably doing a really good job.
Yeah,
you got this covered."
Yeah, they're training her to how to shoot. It's funny. Yeah, so that whole thing, I love that. There was a great scene last season with Carol where she threatened Pete.
Oh yeah, we saw that today.
Yeah, she's like,
"I could kill you right now."
Yeah,
and nobody would even blame me. You attacked me.
So good.
She is. She's one of my favorite characters in that show. She's awesome. And I look forward to how different she is, throughout this season.
She'll show her true colors.
Oh
yeah,
she'll have to.
Couple episodes.
She stayed back in Alexandria, so she's got to be real Carol once they get.
Oh, dude, like next episode.
Yeah,
I think we'll see. Carol.
Yeah, they showed in the preview. She was.
Yeah, she was fighting.
Yeah, she's gonna go nuts. I think.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen Badass Carol.
Yeah. I'm just excited. Next episode, like you said earlier, like when we started this, it feels so good to be with all these characters again, to catch up with them, and like it's been like a year.
Yeah, so we finally got our fix. Like if it was running through our veins.
Yeah.
Now.
So this episode, like you were telling me, wasn't the best premiere. Wasn't as good as last season premiere. Season 5,
I loved that premiere.
Out was fucking amazing. Like everything about it was great with Terminus, but
I thought it was amazing.
But you thought this one was?
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
You think it was better than the last one? Do you remember the last one?
I do.
They're in Terminus about to get their throat slit in like a trowel. And
like it was really intense, and that's why. But
yeah.
This one, I don't know.
They just don't have that.
You got
threat.
some intensity, and you got more characters, and
it was good. And they were like they've never shown that many walkers before.
Yeah, no. The budget.
So they had a lot of extras on that set. So I guess those contests paid off for them because every season they always be the walker on set. And so I'm sure they got like a couple hundred people. I mean, shit, if they asked me to do it, I'd do it.
Absolutely.
That'd be cool. And I'm sure that's what they did. They just had an open call to.
We need 60,000 walkers. I honestly, they used a lot of special effects.
There was CG, you could tell, but
there was still like probably I don't even.
There were a couple hundred, I would say at least.
It was great.
Which was great. Yeah, it was cool that they did that. They didn't have to. I
was impressed. This episode was. It was good. It was a good season premiere.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great season premiere, I still don't think, but
it's still. I'm still excited.
This season,
that's what counts.
This season has a lot of like room to be amazing.
Yeah,
like it's going to be a great season, I think, and I can't wait to continue it.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
I still give it an A.
I'd give it a B plus.
We're giving grades now.
Yeah, if I was going to give a grade, B plus. What about you?
I'd give it a B. Yeah.
Yeah, B. No way it's an A. Not in my book.
It's an A in my book.
That's fine. You're allowed to have that opinion.
Yeah. But I'm excited. There's not a whole lot to talk about. Obviously, the whole next premise is going to be like this episode set up everything that's going to happen. Tons of walkers everywhere. Probably get to see the wolf pack.
That's why I liked it. It was a lot of strategy, planning, stuff like that.
I like the way it was filmed. Like I said, it was filmed. It kept
going, the black and white and the flashback. That's awesome.
Yeah, it kept going backwards.
Well, thankfully that's not going to happen because they're caught up now.
Yeah, they are.
So they're going to go in order like they usually do, or we'll see. So yeah, you guys will find out next week, what the episode is like. I hope you like this podcast. If you do, like the video itself, subscribe to us if you want to hear more Walking Dead coverage. And if you like us, follow us on our Twitter feed or whatever, social media. We'll have it linked in.
Comment.
And anyways, stay tuned for next week.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, don't forget, comment below. Because, guys, I will reply. I haven't replied to everyone.
We've always replied. We get comments now, which is great.
We got a couple comments in. I'll tell you, last week, I want to shout this girl out real quick because this chick wrote the most amazing response. Like, I've never got a response. She made me think, and I loved it.
Yeah, she brought up some good points about Strand
like what she thinks the next season of Fear of Walking Dead is going to happen.
And she say like, "Thank you for being smart."
Let me turn this commercial off real quick. I'll pull her up. So let's see here. We got another comment. Did you see that?
Huh?
Great review.
Yeah,
you guys are
Jessica.
amazing. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's Jessica.
Cool. Yeah. Anyway, her name is Angel Martin. Thank you, Angel. You're great, and your review is amazing. And
we appreciate it.
Hopefully, you're watching this one. That'd be cool if you get to the end.
Yep.
Shout out to you. But anyway, if you guys like this, like you said, feel free to share us, follow us, and thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.